Folks, it's the Creepy Kentuckian here with you from Dead Pit Radio, deadpit.com. We are taking a look at another release from Flair Records, who had a stellar 2023. 2024 is looking just as good, if not better for them. And one of their best releases to date is one that we're talking about today. This is a George A. Romero movie, but it's one that not too many people reference. I don't know what the last big release would have been for this movie. I'm not sure it even has a Blu-ray release at this point. I know it was on DVD back in the day. It's a different Romero movie for sure. We're not really talking about the movie so much today, but I do recommend everybody going and seeking Knightriders out. This was the movie that George made in between Dawn of the Dead and Creepshow, starring Ed Harris and Tom Savini, Patricia Tallman, Christine Forrest, some familiar faces for other Romero movies. But this one is a little different. And Knightriders, the soundtrack, is available for the very first time on vinyl. It's a 2 LP edition. Total of 26 tracks included on this. 180 gram vinyl. Gatefold edition, which we're mainly talking about the record here. The music itself is great too. I actually think that this is one of the most underrated Romero movies and scores of all time. Blacksmith's melody in particular, once it gets stuck in your head, you're just thinking about it all the time. I even learned to play it on mandolin back in the day. It's a very fun, like Irish pub type jig. This is music too that you could totally rescore films like Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, stuff like that. That type of music. Donald Rubinstein, who many people will remember, also scored Tales from the Dark Side, the series and movie. He also did the score for Martin as well, and did this one. And to me, I mean, this is the best one that he did. And thanks to Flair Records, this thing is out in beautiful gatefold 180 gram vinyl for the very first time, and possibly the last time. I know they do very limited runs on these releases. This particular edition here does feature the original artwork from Boris Vallejo, who did the poster art and everything. You can see Ed Harris there with his war bonnet and motorcycle and armor and all that shit from the movie. Explaining this movie though, that's a video for another day. If we get an updated version of Knightriders on Blu-ray or 4K at some point, preferably Arrow Video or Second Sight Films, then that would be a perfect one to revisit the movie. But this soundtrack, if you're a fan of George A. Romero and his movies and everything, odds are you've already purchased this. Again, it's a total of 26 tracks. Each record, there's 2 different records in this, and we'll take a look at the vinyl. Inside of this one, you get a little insert program of events. It's as if you're attending the action-adventure battle in person, right? And on the other side, the Knightriders are coming. So you get that included there, and you get 2 LPs with this beautiful, it's almost the color of my cap there, like a yellow amber color here. Fight or Yield amber color vinyl. And there's 2 different ones. I'll play a video of it playing on a player as well. Beautiful edition here. I actually really love this score in particular. I was telling Sean from Flair Records not too long ago that this is one that I would always go back to. And I just thought the score itself was possibly better than the movie. I know some of you guys are like, what the hell are you talking about? But to me, it's true. It was more of a memorable, it actually made the movie feel bigger than it was, which I think that's very important if a score can do that. And again, I wanted to mention, showcase this. This is a gatefold edition here. Has a, forward from Donald Rubinstein as well, and some album credits and all that. Just really nice, like, beautiful addition to add to your vinyl soundtrack collection. I really love the score of this. The presentation from Scare Flair Records and everything, just hit it right out of the park. And if you're a Romero fan, which I am, I've been a lifelong Romero supporter and fan. Lucky enough to interview him back in the day, meet him a couple of times at shows. Very nice guy, very missed in the horror community. And this is one of his more unique movies, I think. And the soundtrack is even more unique. Donald Rubinstein, I think this is his best soundtrack. And I know people are probably gasping at that, but in my opinion, it's the best soundtrack that he ever did. And this edition is hard to beat. It is out now from our good friends over at Scare Flair Records. You can go to scareflair.com to check this thing out. And be sure to check us out. We're over at deadpit.com.
Give us a thumbs up.
Up your butt.
Like, subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a fuck.
I want you to. I want you to.
Okay.
Let's keep our community growing here on YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to do nothing.
Listen, they need to do that.
No, don't you dare touch it.
Thumbs up. Subscribe. Click that bell.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit radio shirts. You can get Last South on the left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. Dead Pit on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows, fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.